Hello class, I just wanted to give you a little brief tutorial of iLearn so that you can understand a little bit more what features there are here and some helpful hints as you get started with the course. I know that at the beginning it can be really daunting to walk into a new classroom setting, especially if you've never done an online course. This can be really overwhelming. So just bear with me. I know that right now there's going to be a lot of information thrown at you, but we have a few weeks to really get going and to help you figure everything out. So don't get discouraged. I'm here to help. You can always ask questions. So first of all, when you log in, this is the course landing page, and that's of course when you select your course, and it will tell you the name of your course up here once you've selected it. And then on the course landing page, there's this thing here that says New to Pathway Connect, and it says view the tutorial to see the best way to get started. So I recommend that you watch this. Even if you aren't new to online courses, I still recommend watching this video so that you can kind of see some of the features of this platform specifically. If for some reason this widget is collapsed, and you aren't seeing the link, just click this little arrow next to it and then you'll be able to see it. So down here are the announcements, and I post announcements typically 2 to 3 times a week. At the beginning of the semester I tend to post more frequently because there's a lot of information that we need to get out in a relatively quickly manner, information that is for the whole class. As we get going into the semester, they'll get a little bit more routine, but there's helpful hints about assignments. There are reminders about due dates. Sometimes there are problems with the website itself, or maybe a quiz isn't opening correctly or something like that, and I will post that kind of information in the announcements. So make sure that you are checking the announcements every single time you log into iLearn. I promise you that if you read the announcements thoroughly, follow the announcements, then you will do well in this course. The course itself has some challenging aspects to it, but on the whole, what really hangs up most people in this course is not checking the announcements and getting the most current information. So please make sure that you're doing that constantly. So up here along this top bar, there's some different features. The content feature is where you will find all of the course content. Over here there's an overview, and this gives information about me as well as a little bit about the course. So this is where you can find my email address and my virtual office space. So we use a program called Zoom, and you can download the app to your computer or to a tablet or phone, and it's just a video chat feature. It allows us to do some kind of cool things, and it allows us to chat with many people at one time. I have done some class-wide meetings in the past that I may do this semester. So I will give you more information about that later, and I will also give you information about how to download it. But if for some reason you would like to meet face-to-face, this is how we will do that. So there's the link for that. All right, then there's bookmarks. If you find that you are going to the same pages frequently, I recommend bookmarking them so that you can refer to them quickly. You have a course schedule here that will go through the upcoming due dates, and you can do it as upcoming, or you can do the full schedule where it will list every assignment and the due date. Next is the table of contents. This lists every assignment, every folder on here. I recommend, though, coming down here and going by the lesson numbers. So the welcome start here is, of course, where you will start. And so each one of the lessons and the welcome page will have one of these boxes that has some information in it. And then down here at the bottom there's these little check boxes. So you visit each one of these pages, and then after you've visited it, make sure that you check the box. And you'll notice here it will say what your progress is, how much of the course you've completed. And so if you check a box, it will update it there. Also, there are these numbers next to each of these things. This tells you how many pages or assignments you have left to complete. So when you check one of these boxes, it will change here. Now, these numbers are not critical to your grade. So if you forget to check some boxes and you have numbers here, you don't need to stress that you haven't turned everything in. As long as you're sure that you've turned everything in, you'll be fine. However, I recommend paying attention to these because occasionally students will forget an assignment or think that they completed everything, but they really didn't. They missed the attendance report, or they missed actually submitting their teach a friend assignment. Even though they completed it, they didn't submit it. So just I recommend really paying attention to these numbers, even though they're not critical, because it will help you just kind of stay on top of your assignments. Let's see. Next, we have the discussion boards up here along the top. Now, the discussion boards will also have links within each of these lessons that are down here under the course content. But if you are logging on and you know that you're going to go right to the discussion boards, this is a really good way to go. It will just take you right to the discussion boards, and you'll see here the questions and conversations, and also whatever the weekly discussion prompt is. You can also click on these little arrows next to it if you want to hide it. As we get further into the semester, I recommend doing this because it will list lesson 1 up at the top, and then, you know, if we're on lesson 8, you don't want to have to scroll as far. So I recommend hiding them so that you can pay attention to the most current discussion boards. You can also subscribe to the lesson as a whole, or you can subscribe to individual posts or discussion boards. There are assignments and quizzes, and when you click on these, it will just give you a list of what the assignments are. Here it gives you a place for your score and feedback, tells you the due date. Quizzes is similar, lists the quiz. Some quizzes will allow a different number of attempts. So if you'll notice, the preparation quiz has an unlimited number of attempts. So I recommend taking it as many times as you can until it's no longer available. Unless you get 100, of course. Once you get 100, you can stop, but I recommend going until you get 100. The lesson material quizzes, they have 2 attempts available. So just pay attention to that because you want to get the highest score possible. So if there's only 1 attempt possible, then you know that you have to do really well the first time. On the other quizzes, the lesson material and quiz, there's 2 attempts. So if you don't do as well the first time, you can try again. There's a calendar, which is similar to the calendar that we saw under the course content, but it gives you the actual calendar here with little dots showing you where the due dates are, and then shows you again each of the assignments and what percentage is complete. You can sort it by how many, if you want it to go by the day, the week, the month. So you can play around with that and find out what fits best for you. Here is the grade book, so you can click on grades and it will just tell you what your scores are. There's also under grades the class progress, and this is where you will go to find your feedback on assignments. And I will show, once I have given you feedback on an assignment, I will create another video to show you exactly where to go to get that feedback. Then under course tools, you have access to the class list, to groups. So for your discussion boards, you're divided into groups, and that just helps us facilitate the discussions a little bit easier. They will change a few times through the semester so that you get an opportunity to discuss with different people in the course. But you don't need to worry about that. The groups automatically change. Occasionally, I need to move somebody from one group to another. If that happens, I will notify you just so that you know. But you don't need to do anything for that. There is an email feature through iLearn, but I strongly encourage you to not use it. I have had lots of problems with students emailing me through iLearn and then I never receive it. So I recommend putting my email address into your own email platform, whatever you use, and email me that way. If there are people in the class that you need to email for whatever reason, you can find their email addresses in the class list, and then again, I would recommend putting those email addresses into your actual email platform so that they actually get it. This help tool, there's guides here. You can request help, which would be like requesting a tutor or something like that. And you can also contact Pathway Support. So if you have questions about withdrawing or your tuition or any of those kinds of facilitation questions about actually being in Pathway, or if maybe there's some extenuating circumstances, and if you need some help from Pathway Support, this is how you would contact them. So yeah, up here there's messages. You can send instant messages to me. That's a great way to contact me. However, I'm able to respond to emails a little bit quicker, so usually that's a better way to contact me. Here you'll find information about posts that have been made. So if somebody comments on a post that you made, then you will see a notification about it. And then here is notifications about announcements and anything that has changed within the course. So if one of the assignments has changed or something like that, you will get a notification here. Up here where your name is or your picture, you can click there. Make sure that you upload a picture of yourself there. Make sure that it's a good picture of your face. It's always nice, especially in this kind of setting, to be able to see your face and kind of picture you as we're discussing things. You can go in here and create your profile, select what notifications you want to receive, and change other account settings. If you have dyslexia, there is a way that you can change the fonts so that you can more easily read the fonts. And this is also where you would change your time zone and other things like that. So that's just a really brief overview. Please let me know if you have any questions about this. I know that this is a lot of information all at once, so please don't hesitate to ask, and I am really looking forward to this semester.